Siti Rahma binti Ahmad. I am present to unemployment and inflation in Indonesia. Introduction. It has a lot of islands within it is crossroad between two big oceans, Pacific and India. Considered as bridge of two continents, Asia and Australia Ocean. Strategic position, big impact on culture, social, political and economic. Settled in the southwestern part of the Ring of Fire with inland to volcanic activity, ocean trenches and plate movement, having bunch of volcanoes common to distance. It has 2 million kilometers and 300 million of people, largest and most populous country as an island size is nearing to Mexico, more than 5 of Germany. The largest city is Jakarta on the island of Java with 10 million people. Medan, Bandung and Surabaya are the other cities in the country. Indonesia language as their official language. Economic data. Major improvement over the past few years. No one of the frontrunners. Indonesia now are one of the largest gross domestic product worldwide in 2018. Unemployment in Indonesia rapidly decreasing because of the prospering economy. Indonesia implementing IMF mandated reform of the banking sector, effecting a transition to a popularly elected government, holding the military accountable for human rights violations, addressing charges of cronyism and corruption, and resolving growing suppression pressure in Aceh and Irajaya. Concept and definition. Unemployment. The labor force that are available and has the willing to work but could not find one. Employment rate in this percentage of the employment person that still seeking for a job. Employment type. Fractional employer, cyclical employer, structured employer, technical employer, seasonal employer. Concept and definition. Employer impact in individual and society, income and skill loss. Economy lower percentage or production goods and service. Measurement to control employer, monetary policy, physical policy, direct control measure. Concept and definition. Inflation standard increase in price of goods or service in certain period, while disinflation is the opposite to the inflation. Inflation measure. Cost of inflation, demand for inflation, cost push inflation. Concept and inflation. Effect of inflation, income distribution, saving, production, the balance, control inflation measurement, monetary policy, fiscal policy, direct control measure. Concept and definition. Public policy system of law, course of action, regulatory measure, and funding priority by government. Type of public policy, restrictive, regulatory, facility, scope of public policy, criminal justice, economic affairs, education, and environment.
Hi, my name is Fatin Hamiza binti Cik Daud. I will present you country-specific unemployment and inflation in Indonesia. So, let's get started. Unemployment in Indonesia. Indonesia has maintained to release the welfare of the public through the improvement of economic structure. This is not limited to the increment of national income, but also impacting various directions of equity, growth of population, and the human resources deliverability. As you can see the graph here, this statistics show the unemployment rate in Indonesia from 1999 to 2020. The growth has their identical fluctuation from 2006 to 2015. Economic growth achieved in 2006 amounted to 7.95%, which increased to 7.55% in 2007. From 2008 to 2009, it showed a decrement due to the global issue, and this shown as of 4.63%. Continues to the global crisis in 2010 with a 5.61%. The growth facing a decrement once again in 2015 to 4.51% due to low performance of Indonesia exports. There are three factors in economic growth. The first one is capital accumulation, which the type of investment in land, equipment, and capital or human resources. Secondly is the population growth, which will be increased and impacting the number of labor force. The third one is the technological advance. The government is applying a macroeconomic policy to achieve community welfare for a higher level of economic growth. Inflation in Indonesia. There are some macroeconomy indicator to measure the inflation flow within a certain period, among others, which is a consumer's price index. According to Bank Indonesia, the inflation is measured using consumers price index. In Indonesia, it is grouped into 7 groups of purpose based on the classification of individual consumption by purpose, COICBP. Those are foodstuff, processed food, beverages and tobacco, housing, clothing, health, education and sport, and transportation and communication groups. B. Wholesale Price Index. Wholesale Price Index, also known as Producer Price Index, look into inflation from the producer view and emphasize more on the number of products at the wholesaler level. And the last one is C. Gross National Product Deflator or Deflator, GNP. GNP deflator is obtained by dividing the nominal GNP based on the applied price with real GNP, a constant price. Then this can be interpreted as part of the whole GNP components or consumption, investment, government expenses, and NATO export. Public policy in Indonesia. Bank Indonesia as the executor of the monetary policy in Indonesia in controlling inflation, working under the framework called Inflation Targeting Framework (ITF). ITF has been implemented since July 2005. Previously, base money policy was implemented as the monetary policy target (BIGOID). The monetary policy implemented by Bank Indonesia was to achieve a controlled inflation. Based on the Finance Minister Regulation of Indonesia, PMK, on the inflation target in year 2016, 2017, and 2018, dated 20 May 2014, the inflation target set by the government was 4% and 3.5% respectively, with 1% deviation. In the fiscal policy, the Indonesia government was arranging for the state budget (APBN) on of the target of the state budget plan 2017 was reducing the unemployment, assuming the Indonesia government simultaneously would like to have a controlled inflation or lower tendency and reduce the unemployment.
According to this article, unemployment surged to decade high as COVID-19 caused millions to lose jobs. Now we have conclusion and recommendation. It comes across from the analysis that the unemployment rate have a pretty good effect in economic development in short term, and while inflation rate shows opposite. The flexible labor force, investment, and government expenditure are not substantial to economic growth in the short term. Positive effect on long-term economic growth. This is because the economic growth is more affected by capital-intensive industry.